What is anger? Buddhist perspective in the path of transformation. Anger is a fire, but compassion is cool water. When we know how to water our compassionate heart, there is no room for anger to exist. Let's practice patience and letting go. We will feel our hearts as light as clouds, life as peaceful as flowers blooming in the spring sky. Anger is a primitive emotion that everyone has experienced. It can arise from small things in daily life, but if not controlled, it will become a fire that burns away happiness and peace. Buddhism considers anger, hatred, as one of the three poisons: greed, hatred, ignorance, causing people to forever wander in suffering. But anger is not human nature. It is an impermanent psychological state that can be recognized and transformed to bring peace. If we know how to face anger with mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom, we can turn it from a destructive source of energy into a valuable lesson on the path of cultivation. Anger gives rise to a crazy mind. The fire burns good intentions, and pain fills them. Look quietly, contemplate the changes. Be at peace, and this anger will disappear. What is anger? Anger is a negative psychological state that arises when we encounter something that goes against our will. It can manifest from mild irritation to explosive anger, hurting ourselves and others. In the Dhammapada, the Buddha taught, anger burns like fire. Suffering is self-inflicted. Anger is like holding a hot coal to throw at someone else. You are the first to get burned. Causes of anger. The Buddha pointed out that the root cause of anger is ignorance, craving, and ego. Ignorance makes us unable to see the impermanent nature of all things. Craving makes us cling to desires, and when they are not achieved, we become angry. Ego makes us vulnerable, leading to anger when others do not agree with us. The Buddha taught in the Agama Sutra, anger is a fire that burns oneself. It is a shackle that binds the soul, leading to suffering and unhappiness. If we contemplate that all things are impermanent, everything changes, then there is nothing worth being angry about. The sea changes forever. Holding grudges forever makes others suffer and ourselves suffer. Consequences of anger. Anger not only affects the soul, but also has negative impacts on health and society. Body, stress, high blood pressure, insomnia, weakened immune system. Soul, insecurity, anxiety, prone to depression. Society, violence, conflict, broken relationships. Anger creates resentment for generations. Love is not complete. One time becomes distant. Anger arises like a fierce fire, but when it passes, we feel regret for the words and actions we said and did when we lost control. Methods to resolve anger. Recognize and observe. When you feel angry, don't react quickly. Stop, take a deep breath. Observe your emotions without judgment. Understand the source. Ask yourself, where does this anger come from? Is it worth it? Mindfulness in the present moment. Practice mindfulness. Focus on breathing to keep the mind calm. Contemplate compassion. Compassion is the antidote to anger. Put yourself in the shoes of others. Sympathize with them. Conquer anger with non-anger. Conquer non-anger with kindness. Dhammapada. Contemplate impermanence. Everything will change. Anger is the same. Meditation and chanting. Meditation helps calm the mind. Chanting sutras to purify the speech and clear the mind. Be patient, the waves are calm. Take a step back, the sky is vast. Advice for a peaceful life. Controlling anger is not easy, but if you practice persistently, you can master your emotions and live a peaceful life. Remember, a peaceful mind is the foundation for a happy and meaningful life. Compassion extinguishes the fire of anger. Patience opens the door to compassion. A life of peace without confusion. Sowing good seeds, the mind is enlightened. Anger is a fire, but compassion is cool water. When we know how to water our compassionate heart, there is no place for anger to exist. Let's practice patience and let go. We will see our hearts as light as clouds, our lives as happy as flowers blooming in the spring sky. Keep your mind calm, without resentment. Spread compassion and hatred. A life of peace and kindness. The fragrant lotus spreads in the mist. In daily life, anger is inevitable. However, through each of the Buddha's teachings, we can learn how to transform this emotion into an opportunity to develop ourselves, bringing peace to ourselves and those around us. When we know how to transform anger, we are no longer victims of emotions, but become masters of ourselves. Happiness does not lie in conquering others, but in conquering one's own anger. Let's practice the Buddha's teachings on the path of reducing anger along with practicing compassion to make life more meaningful.